Welcome to the Rebirthing Breathwork Summit, a free online event where you'll learn to integrate the power of conscious energy breathing to transform your mind, body, and spirit. Share this online event with your friends and family and join the conversation inside our Facebook group, Rebirthing Breathwork Summit. And now your host, Devendra Narayan.
Welcome everyone to the Global Rebirthing Breathwork Summit. This session is called The Miracle of Breath, the life-transforming power of clarity breathwork. And our guest speaker is Ashanna Solaris. Ashanna is a practitioner, trainer, co-founder, and pioneer of the profound practice of clarity breathwork, a gentle, nurturing, feminine approach to healing, transformation, and embodiment. She has led hundreds of trainings, workshops, and retreats around the world. She trains practitioners as well as leads individuals through a powerful path of releasing their blocks so they can open to and live their greater potential. Ashanna brings a wealth of experience and training with 26 plus years in the healing arts, integrating breathwork, light body, Reiki and energy healing, somatic experience, ritual, dance, and movement. Ashanna has a deep passion to inspire others to live their fullest potential and give their greatest offering. Welcome, Ashanna.
Thank you, Devendra. Beautiful.
So the title of your session begins with the words, the miracle of breath.
Mm-hmm.
And I say a big yes to that.
We could use some miracles.
If I look back just a few years ago, I did not realize that I was walking with boundless possibilities and miracles that were right under my nose. So when did you first become fully aware, conscious of the miracle of breath?
Mm-hmm. Well, I become aware of the miracle of breath pretty much daily. It's a continual process as we lead our workshops and private sessions. The miracles just keep coming, and it does seem like miracles are increasing. I would just say that in these times because the times are so amplified right now and powerful. But for myself, I first experienced the miracle of breath back in the 1980s when I had my very first breathwork journey at a place called Heartwood Institute in Northern California. And it rocked my world, and I thought, this is the most powerful thing I've ever experienced, and I have to learn how to do it.
So as you went on this journey, take us through that journey. Who were the teachers? What were your experiences? What sort of life-transforming changes did you see when you started practicing breathwork?
Well, back in the 80s, it was my very first workshop. I dropped out of theater school in New York City because I started to have a spiritual awakening process. And I started to remember my past lives, and my clairvoyance came online. And, you know, I was in my early 20s and having extremely powerful experiences that I couldn't explain. So I left theater school and I came back to Missouri, where I was from, and someone told me about Heartwood Institute and a workshop called Healing the Inner Self. And I drove out to Northern California. I remember crossing the borders and thinking, this is Eden. It's the most beautiful place I've ever seen. And in that workshop called Healing the Inner Self, we did many different modalities, but the most transformational process was the breath work. I don't even remember the teachers' names at this point in my journey because there have been so many. I just remember feeling like I could feel, I could release, I could express, I could cry out for my inner child and my father and my mother. And it was just the beginning of an incredible journey that led to many healing modalities. And it was really Sandra Ray later in the 90s, in the mid 90s. And right, we were a boyfriend and I were going to Angel Fire, New Mexico for a Course in Miracles conference. And I remember I felt Sandra before I met her. You know, there's these people in our lives that we feel before we meet them. And I knew I was going to meet someone that was going to change my life forever. And we got to Angel Fire, New Mexico, and I was more of a channel, light body teacher. I was living on Maui. I just thought, that bliss and getting out of my body and going back to whatever I came from was a good plan at that time. But it wasn't working for me in terms of relationship or financial abundance. And so when I met Sandra, I knew, she just, there were all these channelers at that Course in Miracles conference. And I thought, I can't relate to any of this. I need something real that's relevant to my life. And she came in, this 6-foot tall redhead, and said, I want to talk to you about your anger and your guilt and your pain, and I said, just sign me up. And then that night I went through a spontaneous rebirth, in my boyfriend's arms. He was a rebirther, and remembered my birth. I had already remembered my birth years prior to that in a cave experience when I got stuck in a cave. And I just knew that we needed to go all the way back to birth, and we needed to heal what happened to us coming into life through our conception, womb time, and delivery, that all of that had a huge impact on my life, which was leading me to not even really want to be here or feel safe to bring my light here. And when I saw that I could use such a simple modality of breath work to get into my body, to feel the emotions I was avoiding through my spirituality, and to heal my birth trauma and childhood wounds, I was all in. There was no turning back. There's never been a better tool in my toolkit than breath work. And it's miraculous because when we breathe, we connect to something so much greater than our minds, our egos, something so much bigger that is waking up inside of us. To me, it's an awakening to who we really are, all the way here in the body.
It's magical. It's magical. And you touched upon so many different things there, Ashanna. Way back, you talked about your experiences in the cave, and then how that led you to find breath work. And many of the people who are on the spiritual consciousness path, they get these indicators, these nuggets,
Yes.
at some point in their life. What I want to ask you is, how did you pick out, right, those signs to say this is what your calling is going to be? Many times we resist those kinds of signs that the universe is trying to send us, and we would push it aside, and because that's
Right.
that's the uncomfortable part, that the journey of rebirthing will lead us through some painful moments. So for listeners and viewers across the world who are a little bit hesitant to go on the path, as a coach, as a rebirthing trainer, talk to us about that.
For me, it's like, I like to call it a choiceless choice. Because when you sit in the alchemy of soul transformation, and when you've had your own life completely transformed in a pretty rapid period of time, and you see other people transforming their lives, you just can't help it. You're just drawn to it. And for me, it was what the Course in Miracle calls a holy assignment. It was beyond my mind. And it was really in a breathwork session with Sandra Ray on Maui when I was living there, when I was breathing, and the spiritual master Babaji, who Leonard and Sandra both found in India, came to me in my breathwork journey and said, I want you to travel around the world. And I could see all these hands up in the air reaching up. And I want you to help all these people with your breath work, your energy healing, your light work. And that's what you need to do. And I was in a breathwork session. And I said, no, Babaji, I can't. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And I was crying. And he said, fine, I'll go find somebody else then. And he started walking away in my inner vision. And I said, wait, this is what I was born for. This is what I came here for. And he turned around, came back, rolled up his sleeves and said, then let's get to work. And I could say all these years later, it's 25 years later, I've been traveling around the world. And one of the things we do in our workshops is we put our hands up in the air like this. And so to me, it was obvious. And I guess I was also probably lucky enough to have fairly liberal parents who really encouraged me to follow my creative dreams and my passion, and not to, they didn't tell me to go be an insurance salesman or, go make a lot of money. They said, do what you love. And breathwork is just what I love. Transformation is what I love.
That's beautiful. You have such profound experience now with your trainings. You have seen so many people, hundreds or maybe thousands of people have come through your program. What are some of the things that you see commonly in participants, in students when they walk in through your doors? What are they carrying with them, which are, you see, common traits that you have to work through and transform them? Maybe the first breakthroughs that they have to make in this journey.
Well, we attract, my co-trainer and I, Dana Dharma Devi, we attract a lot of the wounded healers, because part of my purpose is really to help the healers, or I like to call them the angels, to come out of freeze and bring their gifts into this dimension. So we attract a lot of people that are coming with wounds of childhood trauma, sexual abuse, working in a job that they don't want to work in anymore. I like to say that my ideal student is someone who's already on the verge of an incredible transformation, and they're about to completely change their lives, and they just need a good midwife. They need a good process to help them birth into a greater aspect of who they are. That's what happened to me, and that's what I hold the space for. And that's in general. We have so many different clients that come for different reasons, but most all of them feel like there's perhaps something missing. They know that they could have more in life. They know that they're not breathing to full capacity or living or feeling to full capacity. They sense that there's so much more. They want a spiritual connection. They want to feel alive again. One of my friends says that what I do for a living is I raise the dead, because people literally come in the door feeling like they are dead. Their lives are dead. They are living a black and white existence. And sometimes they just do one breathwork session and they feel like they came alive again. The color turned on. They remember who they are. They connect. Maybe they connect with their ancestral spirits. They come home to their essence. They forgive something really difficult. And then their whole life changes. And I get to witness that over and over and over again. And most people like me just feel called. They might not have even read what the training was about. They just knew they had to be there. And then they didn't even realize how powerful and transformative it was going to be. And it's just a huge power assist in their journey.
You also call breath the miracle medicine. So talk about that. How can people get more of it, right? I mean, this is something that's available for free anywhere, every single time. Yet, actually, I will take that back. I won't say yet. I think we are now recognizing the power of the breath. So help us understand a little bit more when you say you'd call breath the miracle medicine for this time.
Right. Well, it is the miracle medicine, because breath is the one thing that unites all of us. We're all sharing the same air, basically. And when we breathe, we are breathing in all of life. And when we breathe out, we're adding our essence to that. So many people are using plant medicines right now, which are also very helpful for a transformation. But we have many medicine people that come to breathwork and say this is just as powerful as a plant medicine journey. And in fact, we are breathing in the plants. We are breathing in the life force energy. And we are giving each other permission to surrender our false sense of separation and our small self. And we are opening to a much vaster sense of who we are. We're opening to infinity. One teacher told me that no matter what I'm doing, my real job is to remind people that they are infinite and that we are infinite. And most of us walk around feeling like we're small, enclosed in this mind, these thoughts, our life situation. And that's what happened to me when I was living in New York City. I thought, is this all there is? If this is all there is, I don't even want to be here. And when I had my first awakening, I thought, oh my God, there's so much more to who we are. And to me, that's what we need to realize right now in the midst of a global pandemic, in the midst of an enormous climate crisis, in the midst of social injustice, in the midst of a political paradigm on its way out. We need to remember who we are. And to me, breath is the most powerful thing to do that. And it's not something great someone else is doing for you. The cure is not outside of you. The cure is here in the breath itself, within the individual. And it's up to each of us to tap into that. And when we tap into this wellspring of energy, vitality, clarity, guidance, then we can all kind of like step into our rightful position and do what we came here to do and make the difference we came here to make. So for me, it's nothing short of miraculous. And I'm just humble and grateful to get to experience it over and over and over again.
So breath breaks the false sense of separation. It unites us because, as you said, we're breathing the same air. Someone once told me, as a scientist, about all the elements in the air, and there are certain elements that are inherent, that were there when the planet was formed.
Yes.
So Christ brought the same elements,
Yes.
Krishna had the same elements, Buddha had the same elements, and we don't realize that we indeed are actually breathing the exact same elements that these divine beings breathe at some point.
Yeah, and as you say it, I have chills all over, because that's who shows up in the sessions. The Christ consciousness appears, the Buddha appears, Krishna appears, whatever our spiritual language is, it's all available to us simply through a process of surrendering and trusting and opening and feeling. We can get insights and access to consciousness that we didn't have before.
So, Ashanna, what is clarity breathwork?
Clarity breathwork arose out of Rebirthing, because we did originally a study with Sandra Ray and her lineage, and it was called Rebirthing, right, in the beginning. And then we felt like we kept changing it and adapting it to what our particular talents and gifts were, and then also to the needs of our students. And gentle is the key word for us, yet gentle and powerful. Because some people think, well, gentle, that's not going to be as powerful. I wanted like a really powerful experience, you know. Sometimes gentle can be more powerful, actually, because we feel safe and held in that gentleness to go really deep. So rather than a cathartic process of breath, which is maybe pushing the breath, forcing the breath, hyperventilating, moving really fast with the breath, we're a little slower, circular, connected breath. And it's like allowing time for whatever's arising to be fully integrated. So it's a blending with some of the current thinking in trauma healing. I've also done the somatic experiencing training with Dr. Peter Levine. And that is that titration, going more slowly, so that we can thoroughly catch these parts of ourselves that maybe got trapped at birth, at delivery, at conception, through childhood. And in order to access those, we need a very gentle quality of breath. And we call ours a sacred feminine approach, because it's very much a mothering, a holding. Not that we don't also have fierce boundaries, and we honor the sacred masculine as well. But even Babaji, the spiritual master, said, you know, that the supreme energy is the Divine Mother. And when he died, he said, I leave it all in the hands of the Divine Mother. So our work is largely led by that Divine Mother archetypal energy that is so needed right now in our culture and is so needed in our healing process.
So we had a great discussion with Chandra Andrea Polyak. She's a tantric out of Asia. She brought this great discussion about the feminine energy, the Shakti rising. In your practice of this feminine touch, so do you get men in your training?
We do. Yeah, we do. We have quite a few men in our training, and male practitioners and male teachers, or students that go on to teach huge movements like Anthony or Alan. We have a lot of men that go through our training because they're wanting that softer, more feminine approach to add to all their other disciplines. It's important that we have a balance, of both masculine and feminine. And yes, Shakti energy is extremely powerful. We were working with it today in a training, and it is that power that can heal the world. So it's said in the ancient texts that in this time of Kali Yuga, when the minds of men go insane and the world is on the precipice of utter destruction, that the only power that is great enough to transform us is that of the Divine Mother, and that she will begin manifesting all over the planet in different forms, in different ways, to help bring about this healing.
So I'd love to hear, and I know our global audience would love to hear some inspiring transformational stories, if you would like to share those, of people who have gone through your trainings. Could you share a few of those transformational journeys of people? Maybe
Sure.
we help inspire somebody around the world to take this step of clarity breathwork.
Right. Well, sometimes the people that have the greatest trauma are also walking with the greatest gifts of healing. And that is something I have discovered, that sometimes the greater the trauma, the greater the gift on the other side. And so I could say that I have met people in some of the most horrendous traumas that anyone could possibly live through, which I won't name here because sometimes we just can't even comprehend what people have been through. And when they meet that trauma, that betrayal, that injustice, and they're able to have forgiveness and love within it, the whole thing shifts, and the light and the radiance that those people can emanate, and then the amount of people they can help. So I've seen many people go through a very contracted state where they were holding on to their trauma, perhaps feeling like the victim to their trauma, limited by that. And when they did the Clarity Breathwork process and moved through it, they came out the other side, started a new business, a healing practice, a spa. One woman started a spa practice that became wildly successful, of nurturing and helping people heal through pleasure. I have another client who had sexual abuse as a child, and she's gone on to write a book about healing sexual trauma and liberating our pleasure, and is leading an entire movement of women rising in their feminine power. So those are some major miracles, and also men have incredible miracles. Also, men create huge projects out of what we do. They birth new businesses. They heal relationships with women, because there's a lot between men and women that need healing, and there's a lot of issues with our mothers and our fathers that need healing. And when we heal those issues, I've officiated many weddings myself, people who thought they could never get married, never have a partner, and they do their sessions, they attract their partner, and then their partner comes and does sessions, and then they get married, and I've officiated many weddings, and then they get pregnant. And sometimes the miracle is they couldn't get pregnant, or they had a loss, they had a miscarriage, or there's an abortion in the past that is weighing them down. And when they heal that and resolve that, they end up conceiving, even when people didn't think it was medically possible to conceive. Many people, even older women, have conceived babies through doing the breath work and clearing out their own traumas. So those are just a few of countless miracles that I've witnessed.
Thank you for sharing that. That's very inspiring. What does your Clarity Breathwork session training looks like? Could you give us a little bit around the structure? Where is it held? How many times? And how many weeks of training or months of training you have?
Right. Well, we're in a unique time because now we are mostly online, right, during the pandemic, and we have been running group after group because so many people want to dive deep right now. So we have a 5-part in-person training program. Level 1 is just the basic deep dive for yourself. It's just like a weekend. And then level 2 takes it much deeper. It's a 9-day training right now online. We just started one today, and is a deep dive through birth and childhood and mom and dad, and how we carry that forward into our relationships, sexuality, and purpose. And then and those 2 levels are just for people that just want to do their own healing work. And then for people that want to go on and become practitioners, we have a 12 session practitioner training that we're doing now online, or in person. It's usually 8 days when we're in person in Costa Rica, which we hope to be this winter, and Bali, where we hope to be this spring, and all the magical places around the world where we teach in power spots, in vortexes, because it's really the earth energy in those places, and the energy of the people and the prayers that give us a huge power assist. And then we have our level 5, which is really exciting, where they get to lead a group to the community. So when it's in person in Bali, the community shows up and breathes. And we're about to do our first online, where they'll get to co-lead a breathwork group to our online global community. So that's going to be really exciting. So that's our in class. And then they have to do a certain amount of private sessions and mentoring sessions and come back and assist. But someone that really wants to be certified in our work can do it in less than a year. And they can start practicing right after the 1 through 4 and 3 private sessions, if they're ready to. So we like to empower people to get up and running, because if they're taking our training, they already have skills as a healer. Yeah.
Well, I'm very interested in getting a little taste of Clarity Breathwork. Is there a practice that you would want to lead us through today?
Sure. I mean, I could take you through a short practice of what we do to prepare for the breath, and I'll bring some breath into it, because I'm also working with a lot of light body transmission. So I would love to do just a short breathing light body activation with you and with the viewers.
That's wonderful. Maybe you can just talk us through for a few minutes what you're going to do, and then
Okay,
we'll
sure.
just be here.
Okay, great. Yeah, I would love to help you to really connect to the supreme being called planet Earth, and to really drop our roots into the heart of Gaia. I believe that this planet is a temple in the galaxies, that she is a library of living light. And so when we connect to her, she gives us a huge transmission power assist. And then we'll activate our energy centers and clear them out and shine them up, and activate our cocoon of light around us to fully call back our energy and our aliveness, and be able to gain insight and guidance about what's next for us. Should we do that? Okay.
Big yes.
Big yes. Okay, great. So let's begin by taking a deep breath. Closing your eyes. And let's place a hand on our hearts and a hand on our bellies. And taking several deep breaths into your heart, into your belly. Feeling whatever is present for you right now. And you might just say to yourself, I am here, I am alive, and breathe into that. I am here, I am alive. I am here, I am alive. And let's call all of our energy to be here from wherever it might have been scattered out in your day, in your life, in the universe. Calling yourself here, and let's surround ourselves with a golden cocoon of light. And you can rest your hands open now on your lap. Let's send our grounding cords, our roots down into Mother Earth. Just dropping roots like the roots of the great trees near you. We have oaks and pines and redwood trees here. And just feel your roots going down into Mother Earth, and as they do, let's also compost any energy we don't need anymore. Old energy, stale, prana, chi. Take a big breath and let it go into Mother Earth, asking her to transmute it, to transform it into new life, new vitality. And let's imagine we can send our roots all the way down into the heart of the earth. And take a big breath. And let go even more on the exhale. And let's just start to connect your breath in and out through your mouth. A silent ah on the inhale, a silent ha on the exhale. And I want you to feel your vitality in the center of the earth as if there is a medicine there that is just for you, of plants, of crystals, of oils, of all the medicines of the apothecary of Mother Earth. And using your breath, let's breathe this energy up from the center of the earth, up through your roots. Breathe it up. Breathe it all the way up through the bottoms of your feet and legs. Activate your legs. Activate the soles of your feet. And let's breathe it all the way up to the root chakra and place your hands for a moment on your root chakra, breathing in, breathing out. And let's breathe in abundance and breathe out scarcity, fear, lack. Breathe in our greater potential of life force energy and manifestation. Breathe out any old ancestral patterns that need to go. You might start to feel some tingly sensations. Keep your breath going. Let's bring it up into the second chakra, your belly, and place your hands on your belly. Breathing into the fire in your belly, and let's stoke the fire. Let's turn on your creative passion and aliveness. And let's sweep out fears, doubts, insecurities, uncertainties. And breathing in creativity, power, love, joy. And place a hand on your navel where you were once connected by the umbilical cord to the placenta in your mother's womb. And let's send our love. Take a big breath. Send your love back to that little one that was conceived and grew in the womb of your mother, and let's surround him or her with our love and our life force energy and our safety and our welcome. Lift it up to the solar plexus. Bring your hand to your solar plexus, and let's breathe back all of our power. Wherever we gave it away, to whoever we gave it away to, calling it back. Breathing yourself here, seeing that beautiful yellow sun in your solar plexus. And let's lift the energy through your breath up into your heart, chest, and lungs. Placing your hands at your heart, let's recommit to self-love. To loving yourself and cherishing yourself. To doing the deep work of healing any abandonment, rejection wounds. And coming all the way home to the heart of love that is within you. The flame that never goes out. Take another breath and let your heart know that it's safe to feel your emotions as well, to let them flow down through your shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers. And let's activate our hands, activate our healing energy to help ourselves, to help each other, to help our world. We are the healers. We are the ones that we have waited for, and we have arrived. Let's breathe it up into your throat. Place your hands on your throat chakra. Breathe into your voice, your gift, your holy assignment, what you are uniquely designed to do and to give and to share. Breathe out any obstacles, fears, or doubts around your voice. Let it go. Breathe up into the third eye. Let's place a hand on the third eye. Breathe into the violet flame in your third eye. Activate your clairvoyant vision, your intuition. And let's use that violet flame to burn away all lesser negative core beliefs, personal lies, old thoughts. They are not true. They simply fall away and dissolve in this light. And let's reach up through our crown. Use the breath. Reaching up and opening your crown chakra, and let's release any false religious programming that we no longer need, that is not serving us, and let's connect directly to source energy through our crown. And you can imagine that with your breath, you can send an arrow of energy up to the spiritual sun, to this great source of light that we come from. And then let's allow it to flow down upon us. Take a few more breaths. And let's all just bathe in a waterfall of healing energy, the codes of light, your holy purpose, our greater vision of what is possible for us at this time, and the miracle that you are calling in. And let's place our hands in prayer position in front of our hearts. And I want you to see and intend a miracle for your life, a miracle for someone else in your life who you love, and a miracle for our world. And then let's take another big breath. We can bow and dedicate our meditation to the highest good of all beings everywhere, to the greatest unfolding possible on planet Earth. Take one more breath and we'll just offer it all up, sending our hands up to the heavens, shaking it out and sending our blessings out. And I'll send my blessings to you, Devendra, also for your dedication and your desire to bring breathwork out to as many people as possible.
Thank you, Ashanna, for leading us in the beautiful practice. As soon as you said, ground yourself, let your roots go inside the earth, and my legs became really heavy. Like my soles of my feet, like they were so heavy and they were so grounded. Yet this uplifting energy to cleanse the body. Thank you so much for your light, for your love, and teaching everything that you know and you have learned with the world. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Devendra.
So before we close, if people want to know more about you and Clarity Breathwork, where can they visit? Do you have a website, a Facebook page?
Sure, they can go to claritybreathwork.com. And we also have a YouTube channel under Clarity Breathwork. And then there's my website, which is ashannasolaris.com.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ashanna, one more time for your time, your dedication, and your love. Much love and light to you.
Much love to you.
Thank you for joining the Rebirthing Breathwork Summit, brought to you by Cultivate Prana. To learn more, visit cultivateprana.com or rebirthingbreathworksummit.com.